Hey guys, welcome back to another lesson, and today we'll be, I guess, first looking at greatest common factors. We already know this, it's pretty easy. Let's just do number one real quick. So the common factors that can be put into number one are 1, 3 can go into them. Does 5 work? Does 4 work? No. 6, no. 6 goes into 18, but not the others. And 9. 7 doesn't work, 8 doesn't work, 9 works. Anything greater than that does not work also. These are the common factors, and this is the greatest common factor. Pretty easy. We already know this stuff. But the most important thing in this lesson is this coordinate grid right here. So draw a quadrilateral with vertices listed and then move it 6 units up. Alright. So negative 10, 0 would be right there. Negative 3, 2 would be right there. Negative 1, 9 would be right here. And negative 9, 7 would be, is it this right here? Yeah. So this is the shape. Yeah, that drawing sucks. Sorry. And then we move it 6 units up. But instead of counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that takes a while and it's really boring. So I'll show you a bit of a trick. So when we move things up on a graph, like we have a coordinate and we move things up, the x value, right or left, doesn't change. It doesn't go to right, it doesn't go to left. The x value stays the same. But, for example, if we're moving it 6 units up, like the question asks, we would add 6 to the y value. So x remains the same, the x value of the coordinate remains the same, but if we're moving it 6 units up, it becomes like this, y plus 6. So, negative 10, this coordinate right here, if we're going to move it 6 units up, it'd be like this. And that works with the formula. So, for the second coordinate, 3, 8. We're adding 6 to the y value. So that's basically what this is. And then it'd be negative 1, negative 3, and negative 9, negative 1. We're just adding 6 to the y value because the y value is determines up or down on a graph. Hope that made sense. So yeah, these are the new coordinates and you can just plot them on the graph. Let's go with this one. This one's pretty hard. Yeah. So the coordinates are, wait, let me see what the question is. Then reflect it in the y-axis. Okay. So this is the y-axis, as you know, and if we're reflecting any shape over the y-axis, think of this line as a mirror. So this becomes this, and this point right here will match to this point. This point will match to this point because it's like a mirror. This point will match to this point, and this point will match to this point. If we're reflecting it over the y-axis, the y-axis is a mirror. That's the important part. So these points, negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 should be right there. Negative 1, 6 should be that, and then negative like that, and then negative 7, negative 1. Yeah, that's right. And then we're reflecting it over the y-axis. like the trick I showed you with the moving 6 units up, we can also do kind of the same thing here. Like the example I showed you, this shape becomes this shape. If we imagine this as a mirror, this point corresponds to this point. And in this case, the y value doesn't move. It doesn't go higher, it doesn't go lower. It stays on the same vertical level. So in this case, if we're going to do that thing again, y will remain the same. But the x value becomes the opposite. So if this x value is x, then this opposite would be negative x. So negative xy, this would be your formula for this would be your formula in this case. So instead of going like counting like that, counting or like that, like how much is this? This is 7, and I'm gonna count 7 this way. Instead of doing all that, we can just change these points into using this formula. So this was originally negative 10, 0, so then that becomes 10, 0, and then that becomes 5, 0, or 5, 8, I mean, and that becomes 1, 6, that becomes 2, 0, and that becomes 7, negative 1. Because y doesn't change, but the x becomes opposite. And then you can plot these points on the graph, and then that's your reflected version. Those are your new coordinates. Oops. Okay. So how much time we have left? Okay. So we'll just do this section really quickly. Using formulas, pretty easy. So using formulas, as you probably know, is just all about plugging in variables. So length goes to L, width goes to W. We just plug those numbers in. So the formula for the area is length times width. Length is 8.6 times width, which is 3. And that's just 25.8. Or, oops, 25.8. Just did that quickly in my head. I think it's right. Anyway, yeah, you get the idea. So just plug these numbers in for the formulas. Alright, I'll show you the answer key. Here are all the questions. Okay, and then the answer key. Here you go. Okay, see you next week. Bye.